Friends, welcome to TTT Train the Trainer Part 2. In Part 2, the program outlines looks like this, that we will learn about learning stages. What are various learning stages that the participants learn? We'll talk about how to strategize for different learning needs. We'll talk about addressing challenging participants and their behaviors. Do you think some participants are challenging? We'll learn about that. Create effective questioning techniques. So how as a trainer you ask questions from the participants. So friends, let's talk about learning stages. Okay, try to answer this question. How old were you when you were not knowing about cycle? And obviously you are not knowing how to ride a cycle. About 2 years, 3 years? That you're not even aware about the cycle. This is also a learning stage that you don't know what you don't know. So about cycle, you were unconscious. About riding a cycle, you were incompetent. So there are two things at this stage. Stage 1, unconscious and incompetence. Then you reach to stage 2. You start knowing about cycle or something, some competency which you want to learn. You want to learn swimming, dancing, playing guitar, skating, or anything. So the next stage is awareness. So now you know this is cycle because you have seen your father or your brother or somebody riding a cycle. So now you know cycle, but you don't know how to ride the cycle. So this is stage 2. You know that what you don't know. Means the changes come from unconsciousness to consciousness. So at this stage you are conscious but still you are incompetent. Now you make some effort. Do you remember those days that you tried riding a cycle, you were injured here, you fall down, you were injured here, but you still did not give up. And now we all know how to ride a cycle or motorcycle or a car, anything. So we made effort. We could learn few things, but also there are many things which we could not learn. For example, myself, I could not learn about skating. I tried, but then I withdrew because it was so tough. I was falling down again and again. So it's all a matter of commitment to the learning. So I withdrew myself from this stage and I could not go further about skating. But as far as about other things, we all moved from stage 2 to stage 3, and stage 3 is conscious but competent. Stage 2, from incompetence to now we have traveled to competence. This is stage 3. So we are conscious that is a cycle and we know how to ride the cycle. So at this stage you know that you know this cycle and you know how to use it, how to ride it. But this is not the final stage. There is another stage you reach, and that is the stage that you don't know that you know. Few things you do so well that you don't know. For example, somebody playing guitar is absolutely lost. It is kind of a worship to him. He get lost that he's playing guitar. What about you guys? When you drive a car, you leave your home, going to office in the morning. Do you know that you are driving a car? What's going on in your mind? Maybe you're thinking about your boss, your office, your client or something. So, what about driving a car? We are unconscious. And what about competence? Yeah, we are competent. Without knowing even, we change gear, we turn it here and there. So this stage is called as unconscious competence. But be careful at this stage. You need to retrain people. You need to bring them something about consciousness. So the entire journey of the learning stages is from unconscious incompetence to passion, making them passionate about their work, about their job. People, you have to have different approach because everybody is not the same. People learn in different ways. Somebody learn by hearing, so tell them some stories, okay, some interesting audio visuals could help them. Somebody learn by seeing, so they are visual learners. So give them something to see, maybe some pictures, some videos, Something they see, they learn, seeing is believing kind of. And there's another category of learner and they learn by doing something. So give them hands-on experience, some experiential learning. So in your training program, you should have approach of combining various kind of experiences for trainers. Something they see, something they hear, something they. So you would like to use PPT. You would like to use chart paper, maybe the flip chart, or sometimes role plays, some group activity, whiteboard, anything. So various experiences you would like to mix for effective learning, interesting learning, which keeps participants engaged. The communication goes two ways. Now, as I said, all participants are not same, so they are different. What kind of participants come to your mind? How many types of participants could be there? Let me tell you. There could be some participant who is knowledgeable. Somebody could be egoistic. By the way, this is cloud. Somebody is not knowledgeable could be also egoistic. Somebody could be dominating in a class. Somebody could be friendly, disturbing. Somebody doing the corner talk, not listening to you, but they have their own small training going on in some corner. A timid, less easy to a trainer, but then it's your responsibility that he also learns. Somebody indisciplined, not following the rules of the training we decide in the morning. And there could be some partner who would like to hijack your session. So plain hijackers, there's also session hijackers. So there are techniques to handle all these kind of participants. That's the trainer's essential skill and competence. What you should do actually, because all are different, one essential skill for you as a trainer is listen to them and listen carefully to them. Understand their questions, understand their objections. Involve other participants while you're answering or while you're addressing their concern. Don't be tempted to answer yourself. So, all those trainers, who believe that I know all, you can use other participants also to answer some question. Avoid one-to-one conversation. Your conversation as a trainer should be, maybe you collect some question, some situation from one, but then later on you address to all. So one to all should be your communication way. Remember, all participants are great resources. So participants are resources. Use them. Use them tactfully. Also have a parking lot. Sometimes you'll have a situation which you don't want to deal right now. There could be a question which no one knows, but then it is kind of, wasting a lot of time of the training. You got to manage time also. So what you do, you have an invisible parking lot. So those kind of things, like some friendly participants would like to deviate from the topic. Somebody would like to, when you're talking about communication skill, they want to talk about their salary issue or some issue of within the organization. So you have that kind of invisible parking lot. So you simply park that question or that issue and you want to come back again so that you're back to the training, And also remember table tennis technique. So have you played table tennis? If not, but know that in table tennis, the ball comes from the opponent. You don't keep the ball with you. You return back immediately. So that's the way as a trainer you should be knowing that how to handle those kind of questions. So when something comes from, say for example, a knowledgeable participant is asking a question, what you will do? You should answer. Yes, but then not immediately. Involve others, I said. So this question you like to collect from him and throw it to all. So table tennis, to all. Now there could be some participants who have the answer. So now body language works, so tell them that he got the answer. If they do not have the answer, you may try answering this. And even if you don't have the answer, ask the person who has asked the question, maybe he himself has the answer. If no one has the answer, you have a parking lot. So these are few techniques. Now listening is important. Average adult only remembers 25% of what he or she hears. So how to improve listening? Don't jump onto the conclusion. Judge content, not the delivery. Delay evaluation when somebody is talking about. Listen for the ideas. Actively work on listening and resist distractions. Also, you can paraphrase if somebody is asking a question, you would like to repeat that and paraphrase. You should also ask question. As a trainers, one of the strong tool is probing skill. And through probing, you manage a lot of things. You ensure that good learning is happening. So we ask question to get or clarify some information, provide interaction, individual attention, and opportunity for the trainee to share viewpoint. But some rules for questions are addressed to individual or a group. Make the question open-ended, not all the question close-ended, so that you get detailed information and you get better involvement of your participants. And also, when you ask question, provide support. Right? You help them so that they can answer. You might like to give them some clues. So friends, this is how you can make a training program very, very effective. Training is a business of credibility. Please enjoy it and make the change in the societies. Thank you very much, friend. This is your friend Neeraj Bharadwaj. I am a consultant, coach, and a corporate trainer. Thank you very, very much.